another lovely sunny day here. Had a bit of a tough day yesterday with a few bits and bobs. I managed to get the patches in the axle to cover up those two holes where the oil way was. But unfortunately, the MIG welder has died in the process. We lost wire feed. Anyway, I managed to resurrect that and get it going again. But anyway, it is what it is. We're not in a great place with that. Started the descaling process. Big fan of the old needle gun. And that's coming up reasonably well. I think you can probably see the difference, so bring you in for a closer look. So you can see there that that's the side we've made a start on with the gun, and then we get over here and you can see the old paint and every rust, etc. Particularly want to get into places like this down here and in there, and then we're going to flip it over. Another weld on top of the old diff pan. So yeah, we're getting there. Run around the back of this ring. Using the needle descaler is equally as good, if not better, than the sandblaster, because you're also looking at it as you go along. Interestingly, found this stamped into the top. Wonder whether that's the guy who actually machined the surfaces. Has to be said that, you know, the finish on the axle casing is not very good. Some really sharp edges underneath here. You know, I'm just having a quick, you know, I've just pulled that off. You know, that's been potentially hanging there for 50 years waiting to drop off into my oil. And we saw the consequences there with the diff. And here you can see where the two seals have ridden. We've just polished it. It's not, can't feel it, it's just polished it. So that's just in the casting, that ridge. Try to descale it, but it's just in the casting. So I've had a week off this week, just to try and get on with this, specifically to do this task. Today's Friday, kids are at school, most people are at work, and you know, I'm going to be disturbing the minimum amount of people. I'm going to be disturbing people, there's no two ways about it, but it's to disturb the minimum of people. Didn't want to do this job over the weekend. I've had a few things happen this week which have really delayed the job, but anyway, we're going to get through as much of it as we can. But we'll see how we go on. If you've ever wondered what's the best way to piss your neighbours off on a Sunday, I will demonstrate. I'm sure you'll agree that should do it. So we flipped it upside down. This is the drain bung. So this is the back of the axle, and arguably the part of the axle that I want to look best. So we will be addressing this pitting in the back of the axle, because that's going to be quite unsightly. And I'll want to try and smooth that out a bit. But basically we've just got this last side to do. Bits and bobs around a bit about the piece. Just letting the compressor cool down. The equipment's taking a bit of a battering on this one. Interestingly, this sump has been overplated. This is not the original covering. Somebody's got a sheet of 18 gauge by the look of it, and got the old oxyacetylene out and tacked her on. That may have helped him slow the flow of oil down, but it hasn't stopped it. And I'll just show you the leak we've got over here. So here's the drain bung, and here we are upside down.
Come and listen to the story about a kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up through the ground come a bubbling crude.
And we're managing to leak oil out of a reservoir upside down. It's obviously trapped between the skins. But I think we've done the right thing blanking the two holes off inside the sump, because you know somebody's put a lot of time and effort into welding all this on, and seams here and all the rest of it, a bit of a patch there as well, and they haven't managed to stop the bottom part leaking. But it also confirms where we think the leak is. But yeah, you can't deny we can get that to leak upside down. Right, X marks the spot. We've had the string out and we've gone from the centre line of the spring, so we've used the pips on either side, and that mark there is about the centre line. This line is obviously the width of the reservoir. Complete yes, because we don't know how accurate the overplating was, but we're going to bang a drill through and see if we can see the bung that we can see in the diff from the inside. So let's not worry about how we're going to tidy this up and finish it off and all the rest of it. Let's find the bung first. Beautiful. Oh, smelling grand. So that's the latest addition to the mudguard washer collection. That's just absolutely straight on it there. Unbelievable. I don't think I could have got that a lot better with that gas cutter. Maybe another couple of millimetres this way would have helped, but that's pretty good. We're going to go with the 5/8 square, and that's fitted straight in. Right, we'll give everything a clean up. The bung's back in, so now what I need to do is come up with a way of sealing this reservoir tank so that A, we don't have the residue keep coming out, because that's going to be coming out for years by the look of it. B, we don't have something that can get caught on a, you know, a peg on a show field or something daft like that. C, I want to be able to seal this up so we're not gathering snow and muck and cow shit in there. And obviously D, it needs to be something that's easily accessible for when we do the maintenance. So my idea is, I've got myself a lump of scaffold tube, as you can see. Big fan of scaffold tube. I've machined the outer edge down just to take the OD down a little bit. I want to have some breathing room in there to move about. I'm going to part it off with the angle grinder or the hacksaw, because it's heavy going for the little Myford with the parting blade, but we're most of the way through with the parting blade. My plan is to drop it in there and then have a larger plate that'll be fixed to this reservoir tank. We'll probably drill it and spot weld it, but anyway, let's crack on and get it done and see what it gives us. But so far I'm happy with that. It's about what we needed. Right, as a reminder, what we're trying to achieve here is something that encloses this stops all the crap getting in, protects the bung, maintains the rigidity of this, and when Kev goes under for a look, he doesn't think you're bodging it. So what we've done, we've had the angle grinder out with the disc that's nearly knackered, and as you can see, that's why it's a bit of an odd shape, because those discs are right over there on the shelf. And we've made our washer. We're going to weld this on, and then we've got our section that goes in the middle over the bung to protect the bung. Not sure we're going to cap that now, because now it's all together. I'm really pleased with how that looks, so we'll work it out as we go along. But next bit is to fuse those two together. With this lifted up into the correct position, we've got a little bit of air gap between the axle casing and this reservoir, and that's just in case something stupid happens, like we bottom it out and buckle it or something. Okay, let's crack on. Super. Right, so next job is to weld this plate to that tube, and obviously I need them something like parallel. So in this corner of Derbyshire, the way I'm doing it is clamping the plate to this plate. So I'm clamping the tube down onto this underplate, and I'm going to give it a runner weld to hold it together. Let's see if that works. Right, so we're prepped up for welding here. We've finished the flange, yeah, that's the scaffolding tube and the 3mm plate. We're just going to spot weld it on, because I don't want a load of weld around the outside, but equally the wire feed motor's playing up, so that's causing me problems as well. So a quick spot, she's okay. Wire feed motor's okay until she gets warm. So if I hold it tight, the bung travels okay in there. Now I was going to actually put a cap on this, but I'm that pleased with how it's come out, because all I want it to do is stop the crap filling up in here. Well, it absolutely does that. It protects the bung and it reinforces this tin. I don't think it needs a cover. If it does need a cover, I'll have to come back to it, but all I'm going to do is drill and tap this ring, so makes no odds. I'm just going to weld it in place now. Job done. So there's no need for them to be any better than they are, those welds, because we're going to paint them and they'll disappear, and ultimately there's only two people going to see them, and that's me and Kev, and I know for a fact Kev's not bothered. That bit sorted, isn't it? Move on to the next thing now. That's once painting that, but it's finished it off, made it secure, taken some of the rattle out of that, move on to the next thing.